Growing up, they always tell you, pick a career you love and you'll never work a day in your life. But now, looking at the current job market, looking at the current unemployment rates, I guess what they really meant was the second part. But still, welcome to the job market. It might be a long time before you get your first job, or your next job, or your student loan balance to zero. But most advice on the internet makes it harder than it needs to be. Step 1 to getting your dream job, the most important step that you should do before you do anything else, is to assume that as long as you try, you will win eventually. Most people don't succeed because they give up, and they give up because they assume they're never gonna win, so there's no point even trying. And they assume they're never gonna win because they think, oh, the job market's cooked, there's too much competition. Everyone's just gonna reject me anyway. I'm not smart enough to get hired. I'm not even smart enough to do the work to get hired. Every single condition that you could possibly name is against me. Actually, they're not. When I said the unemployment rate was high, I was actually lying. The unemployment rate in the US right now is only about 4.2%. That means out of every 100 people who are available to work, only 4 aren't working. So if you're unemployed, here's a little visual representation of that to make you feel bad. It's not entirely your fault though, because unemployment is kind of a vicious cycle. When you can't get a job, you have lower confidence and you stop trying as hard, which lowers your chances of getting a job even more. And on top of that, the internet makes it feel like there's no point even trying, because it looks like no one else can find a job either. But that's probably because 99.998% of social media content is made by teenagers, bots, students, unemployed adults, and influencers, which means your social media feed is kind of biased in the wrong direction. The people who actually have jobs don't have time to make content. They just do whatever they do at work and just consume whatever content the jobless people came up with during the day. If you ever heard of dead internet theory, you could think of this as unemployed internet theory. So just because no one on your social media feed is getting a job doesn't mean the market is cooked. People have been complaining about the job market for ages. Jobs that require you to be under 24 but with 10 years of experience. Entry-level jobs that aren't actually entry-level but just want to pay you an entry-level salary. Minimum wage jobs that require a college degree, but to pay for a college degree you need a job. But at the end of the day, we're not even close to being doomed yet. There's still plenty of high-paying jobs out there. You just need to assume that as long as you don't give up, you will get one eventually. The reason is called self-fulfilling prophecy. Prophecy means prediction. Self-fulfilling means whatever prediction you make about yourself, you end up making it come true. When you complain about the cooked job market, then you start believing that it's impossible to get hired. Then your brain starts to think there's no point in trying, and you stop applying to jobs because you just assume you'll get rejected every time. And you start slowly putting in less effort, and that makes you less likely to get hired, which will make you think the market's even more cooked than you thought. And the cycle repeats. On the other hand, if you tell yourself, wait, the market is fine, I can get any job I want if I just try, then the exact opposite cycle happens. Basically, once you know how to read and how to type on a keyboard, the main thing that decides whether or not you get no job, a bad job, a decent job, or a dream job is your own belief of what's possible for you. Which means all of the phrases on the screen right now, you should remove from your vocabulary. Here's what you can replace them with if you need some ideas. So be careful. Browsing Reddit, YouTube, and Instagram and thinking, wow, everyone is unemployed right now, is equivalent to going to the middle of New Zealand and looking around and being like, wow, everyone is from New Zealand right now. By the way, if you do happen to have a job right now and you don't like the work, or it's too many hours, or you're not getting paid enough, you're not stuck there forever. It is possible to switch to a job you actually like, that pays well. If you want even, there's a service specifically designed to help you with that. And it's today's sponsor, 1010. 1010 makes it possible to switch from whatever you're doing right now to a higher paying tech job, even if you don't have tech experience. It's a fully online bootcamp that allows you to take courses, do projects, complete externships, and get coaching, all on a flexible schedule, so you can finish all of it without having to quit your full-time job. You don't even have to learn to code if you don't want to, because you can choose any career path from their 6 options. Not all of them require coding. The one thing they do have in common though is that they're high demand. And if you're wondering whether or not it actually works, 1010 has an extremely high job placement rate of 82%. within just 6 months of graduating the bootcamp. In fact, they even guarantee that if you don't find a job within 10 months of graduating, you get a 100% refund. So go ahead, you can learn a new job starting from $200 a month. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get a free career consultation. Step 2. Once you start actually believing in yourself, it's time to get to work and increase your skill set so that you can get a high-paying job instead of just a job. You know, instead of working at the chum bucket, you can work at the Krusty Krab. I mean, that's probably not a good example, I don't think either. I don't actually know if any place in the SpongeBob cinematic universe pays a living wage. Either way, you get what I mean. This is the most tempting part to skip, because, you know, it's actual work. But it really doesn't take that long. Free YouTube courses, online certifications, library books, virtual internships. You can make a project by yourself and put it on your resume. You can make a portfolio website to show off what you learned and what you made. And of course, for some things, you need real life experience, which means you need to go outside. So we could just ignore that. No, in reality, it's not that bad. Whenever you're not sure how to learn a skill, or it seems kind of complex, or you need real life experience to learn it, what you can do is find someone in real life who has the job or the skill you want. And you can simply just ask them what they did to learn the skill and get the job. This is commonly referred to as a coffee chat, even though most of them don't involve coffee, and also most of them are on Zoom. Also, if you're not that good at chatting with strangers, your first few coffee chats will just be straight up interviews, but it will get easy eventually. And if you don't know anyone in real life who you can contact, you should probably start meeting more people who have jobs. But if real life really doesn't work, fake life also works, with LinkedIn being one of the most popular options to contact people and ask for coffee chats. This is way better and easier than trying to figure out everything by yourself, because people who have your dream job will be happy to tell you all the things they did that worked and all the things they wish they would have done differently. They can give you advice specific to the place you live in, the people you know, the company you want to work at, and they can give you up-to-date advice instead of you following some guide from 2019 for how to learn a coding language that doesn't even exist anymore. And here's a secret, this is all networking is. Someone helps you, you help them, you get to know each other, and then hopefully when you ask them for a favor, they trust you enough and like you enough to say yes. Even if your entire relationship with someone was one 30-minute Zoom call, that's infinitely better than you just being some no-name random to them. This is not the time to ask them to give you a referral. It's the time to learn and build genuine connections so that 1 year from now you can ask them to give you a referral. It really doesn't take that long to get ahead of most people, but don't be fooled. The really high-paying jobs require you to have other stuff, like a degree, or internship experience, or at least past job experience in a related field. There's no magical career that only takes 1 month for you to learn and then you can start making $200K a year. Occasionally, people on social media will bring up the trades. So did you know you can make $250K a year as a welder? You just have to go to trade school, it's really cheap. Who do you know that makes that much welding? I've read, like, people on the internet. You read it in a Reddit post. They're just saying you can make $250K a year welding. Who is they? Like, it's this guy who posts on r/dank memes a lot. Do you weld? No, but do you know how long you have to be an apprentice before you get that much money? Okay, you got me. It takes a long time, and it's actually more like $80K a year once you get past that stage if you do it right. And realistically, you're not going to get a raise because jobs go to whoever is willing to do it for the cheapest. Also, $250K a year is only once you start your own company, and that's only if it does really well, which is a really big thing to bet your life on. Also, the main reason you're starting the company is because you're in your 40s and your knees and back are worn out from working 10 hours a day, including weekends, so you have to hire younger people to do what you're no longer physically capable of. Alright, so give me a different idea. Don't you already know how to pressure wash? Pressure washing is my passion. I don't do it for the money. I do it for the love of the sport. Consulting? Consulting. Step 3. Applying. Applying to jobs is the easy part, but it's also the most tedious. So if you want to get the best results for the lowest amount of effort, do the following. 1. Apply quickly to jobs as soon as possible after they get posted. Companies are lazy and are pretty likely to just interview the people who were the first to apply. If you apply a month after the position opens, they're probably already interviewing other people. I did find a cool little tool from a Reddit post that helps you find jobs that were posted in the last 24 hours, so I'll put that on the screen now. Otherwise, just search on any old job board like Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, or even Google honestly, and then filter for jobs posted in the last 24 hours. Some will be quick apply, which is great. Some will ask you to go on the actual company website and fill out a real application. It's kind of annoying, but honestly it's not a bad thing because annoying things have less competition. Also, if you ever get a chance to join a company's email list, which they might call their talent network or their talent community, do it, because you'll get emailed when new jobs open up. The moral of the story is apply fast, which means you'll need to be on the lookout every day for newly posted jobs. Don't just be like, oh, I'll lock in and apply to 50 jobs on May 18th. A, you're not actually going to do that. And B, I'd rather be the first applicant for 10 different jobs than the 1,000th applicant for 50 different jobs. 2. Never postpone applying to jobs. You might think you need to dedicate months to preparing yourself for interviews, but then there are no stakes. There's no motivation to actually do it. At least when you're constantly applying, you're motivated to study because there's always the possibility you'll get a sudden interview. 3. Start keeping track of your applications in a spreadsheet. 4. If you know someone who can give you a referral, ask them. Your chances of getting the job will increase by 20 trillion%, not an exaggeration. 5. If you've ever applied to jobs online before, you know they always ask for the same information. So you should just be like everyone else and download some extension that'll autofill the information for you. Here are the 2 most popular ones. Other than that, I wouldn't really bother trying to find other fancy AI tools to help you with your job applications. I tried doing that for a while, and then I realized, maybe this AI networking, automatic job searching, machine learning algorithm, blockchain, Web3, big data, LLM, API endpoint, starting point, Bitcoin mining, SaaS, with extremely complicated features isn't really something I'm actually going to use after the first day. Also, it's kind of annoying to download some cool looking extension and then forget about it until the next time I restart my computer and it opens up a new tab by itself and asks me to buy the premium version. Premium version of what? You weren't even useful when you were free. 6. Don't make a fancy looking resume. Use the same boring one-page template everyone else is using. You want the content of the resume to stand out, not the format. A key tip for the bullet points is, don't just list your responsibilities, list your accomplishments. That means putting numbers and percentages and dollar signs in there. Specific skills or technologies you used, what you built, how you built it, and what you improved. Just make it sound impressive. A good template for a bullet point is what you did, how you did it, and how the company benefited as a result. 7. If the job description has a lot of keywords that aren't in your resume, slightly adjust your resume so that the keywords show up. This will get it past the bots. You don't need to rewrite the entire thing every time, you just need to add the keywords and skills in there so that you don't get auto-rejected. Anyway, I probably missed some stuff, but it's okay. The most important part is that you remember, you must win eventually. Applying to a job is kind of like asking someone out. If you never give up and you move past all the rejections and just keep trying, someone will want you eventually. In theory. Anyway, if that helped, I'm collecting donations in the form of subscribes to fund the next video.